Hey there, VC. It's Robert with Blocks of Sonic Wafers, and today I ventured out to a record fair. A fair for all and no fair for anyone. This is the second annual record fair started by a gentleman known as Big Lawn. Digging with Big Lawn. He has a podcast. He has a radio show. I will post the information for those. Big Lawn's Grateful Dig. And he did have a booth at the record show today. So we will give you his information. His radio show is on Radio Bristol, which we will also give you information about that. Radio Bristol was at the record show today, did a live broadcast from the stage, and had some live music as well. So they kept it entertaining. The show ran from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And it was much bigger than I anticipated. I knew it was mostly local vendors, but there were some vendors from other areas. I met one fella from Nashville. First thing I ran into, the first tables as I came in, there were too many people digging at that table, so I went past them, and the very next table was my buddy Paul Davis from PD's Records and Tapes over in Kingsport, Tennessee. One of my favorite little shops to go digging in. He always has a good selection, and he always has used records in good condition, usually VG plus or better, and the prices are even better. So as soon as I came in and saw his table, I stopped there, and my eye spied immediately a record that intrigued me. So let's start there. What do you say? And here it is. And I saw this leaning up in the very first box, and I recognized that gentleman right there. That is Paul Cotton, later of Poco. And so I picked up the Illinois Speed Press, and that was my first purchase of the day. It is a gatefold. The cover is in, I would say, at least very good condition, maybe better. The record is in VG plus, and I've never heard the Illinois Speed Press, and I'm looking forward to checking this out. From there, down at the end of the room, there was a table set up with free records. And standing next to that table was Clinton Holly, who owns the Ernest Tube recording studio here in town, and also Well Made Music, which you can see a sign on the wall in the photograph. So I stopped and talked to him for a few minutes, and immediately in the free records, I noticed what looked like a box set. So I started to investigate the box set, and it's called Super Rock. And I thought, well, that looks like one of those loss leader deals, except I've never seen this before. And I started to look around in it, and the records definitely need some serious cleanup work. Then I found this sheet in there. It's Super Rock, Columbia Musical Treasures. And I started checking out that track list. I don't know if you can see that. I'll let you pause it there. And I thought, wow, if these are the original recordings, this is an awesome collection here. It's got Hush, it's got Build Me Up, Buttercup, I Started a Joke, Midnight Confessions, Two Doors tracks, Hey Jude. But then when I got home and I started realizing Hello Goodbye and Hey Jude on a Columbia collection, there's something not right there. So I slapped one of the records on the table, and it's not the originals. They sound pretty good, but it's by, who knows, some band hired just to do these covers. Anyway, it was free, so there's that. Alright, so I started looking around some more. Probably got these out of order now. I got the Golden Palominos for $5. I'm not really familiar with the Golden Palominos. I had heard the name bandied about, and I started looking on the back here at the credits, and I noticed Bill Laswell is on quite a few of the songs, and Richard Thompson, Bernie Worrell, Michael Stipe sings the vocals on several of these. But you've also got John Lydon and Sid Straw doing some of the vocals. And Jack Bruce does the vocals and plays the harp on one tune. So I'm really curious about how this is going to be. It's got some really English traditional folk heroes on here and some real punk rockers at the same time, so I'm sure some of you all are familiar with them. Comment down below, let me know what you think of them. This is Visions of Excess is the name of the album, and again the vinyl is in very good plus condition. Happy to get that. What we got next? I've been wanting to collect some Delaney Bonnie. I do have the on tour Delaney Bonnie and Friends, and I've got the box set of that tour from Rhino Handmade. But I never had any other of the Delaney and Bonnie albums, and I found this for $8, and it is in excellent condition. It has the original insert, which is basically lyrics, of course. And again, the album's in excellent condition. And you've got quite a cast of characters on here. You know, Bobby Whitlock's on here, and the usual cast. Graham Parsons is on here, Jim Keltner, Dave Mason, Dwayne Allman, Carl Radle, Leon Russell. John Hartford is actually on here. And I know it's going to be good stuff, so I'm looking forward to that. Next up, I've never had anything by Johnny Ace, and I saw this for $5. Cover's a little rough, but the record's in good shape. No inner sleeve. It is on MCA. And I've got songs about Johnny Ace, so I thought it was time that I actually got something by Johnny Ace in the collection so I could understand the references. Don't do the sleeve thing on camera. Okay. What's next? Steel Eye Span, Live at Last. This is with Maddie Pryor on vocals. Martin Carthy is on here, who Linda Thompson dated at one time. Again, the vinyl's in great shape. Now this is an interesting find here. I didn't really understand what I was getting myself into when I grabbed it, but for $5, it's a double LP, simply called Guitar. And it turns out it is actually a course. It is from the Lincoln School Library, Twin Falls, Idaho, from 1974. And it's got a guide through the course in here. But they are helped out by a lot of great guitarists, like John Lee Hooker is on here. They interview John Lee Hooker, and they've also got points of discussion in here. Huddy Ledbetter is on here, also known as Leadbelly. James Burton. They each play a little bit on here, and then they each do a little interview on here and talk about their influences and such. So I think that's going to be interesting. This thing is put out by Chevron, Standard Oil Company. That ought to be interesting, if nothing else. And an original pressing of Shazam by The Move on A&M. Also excellent condition. I have mentioned before on Patrick's stream, there's a band called Shazam. He thinks I was referencing The Move, and actually that's where the band The Shazam took the name from, was this album, because these guys were an influence. If you're not familiar with the Shazam, not this Shazam, but the Shazam, I highly recommend you check them out. They are power pop, heavily influenced by The Move and ELO and The Who. Unfortunately, their drummer is now passed, and I don't know if the Shazam is going to continue on. But that has nothing to do with The Move except for the title and a recommendation. I'm looking forward to spinning this. I'm going to leave this one in the cellophane. $5 for Live Dates by Wishbone Ash. It comes with the insert. Double LP. I'm a new Wishbone Ash fan, pretty much. Alright, and these are two sealed albums, and they weren't exactly cheap either. They were, actually. I've not got anything by Can, but I've been curious about them for a long time. So here's Can's Out of Reach. I don't know if that's a good place to start or not. If anyone can make recommendations in that area, please say something in the comments. And it's got a logo down here for the label that you probably can't see that. Almost looks like a bootleg label. But I don't think it is, because I looked it up on Discogs. So there's Can, Out of Reach. And another sealed album. There's one I've been curious about for a long time, because I've seen mention of it, and Henry Cow. Of course, Fred Frith is in Henry Cow. And he went on to become well known with solo albums and other things. But this is Leg End. I've heard it's kind of avant-garde. Not certain. Gonna find out soon. So I've also got a shot of Lightning Charlie, which I'll put up here. He is a regional star. He's a great blues guitar player and singer. Uh, he's one of those bluesmen that always dresses the part and drives a bluesman Cadillac. And, check him out. He's great. And I put a picture up of Paul Davis from PD's, and it's a great little record show. And this is just the second year they've done it. There's a bigger record fair. I'm not sure about bigger, but there's a more well-known record show coming to town here in a couple of months. Greg Neal, I believe it is. It's a traveling record show that comes through here about once a year. So I hope to pop into that if I have any money at the time. But anyway, that's what I did with my Sunday morning. Normally I'm not out record digging on a Sunday morning. But this was a rare opportunity. And I was glad to have it. And glad to have a few dollars to grab me some vinyl. And now it is time to start spinning stuff. Hope you're having a great day and finding some good stuff out there. And we'll see you soon.